Welcome back to ELH 4x4 doing stuff. We're back at the Corvette windshield. Going to apply the adhesive. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use logic. I need to bead a certain amount as far as width. And I know I need it at least 3/8 high, so I'm going to go a little bit more than 3/8 so we can get a little bit of squish coming out. So we'll cut the tip to match the thickness of the bead that I need, and then we'll put in our little triangle that's just over 3/8 of an inch, and then we'll put our little guide part of that. I don't know anything about this. I'm just using logic. All right, so I want to cut the tip to the amount of adhesive that I need. Also, we're going to go through and trim up our adjusting blocks that we're going to leave in and glue around. These ones I don't need to leave in. This is going to give me my side, the amount of space I need on my sides right here. So I'm going to trim this one up, and then there's one here, and I'm just going to leave those in. That gives me my overall height, the space up at the top, and then I got spacers underneath. Now what's going on with this situation, if you've been following, there was hardly any adhesive that was holding this windshield down. That's because we got more than 3/8 of an inch of adhesive, thicker than the fingertip. So what I'm going to do is use the second tube, because we know it's going to take 2 tubes. There's not enough for 1 tube, and then I'll have leftover. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a really thick bead down at the bottom that you won't see anyway, and just build it up. It's kind of really close in this area, and then I'm just going to build it up at the very bottom. Right, so we're not worried about overlap and making sure that the two, seams come together and all that stuff. But I mean, I've been driving around with absolutely no adhesive at the bottom, and I didn't have any water intrusion or anything like that. So we'll just do our best to make sure that the adhesive is contacting itself. All right, we got to go through and line up our tape marks. So when we go to put the windshield back in, we have somewhat of a mark to center the windshield in there properly, line it up. This helps line it up, but these blocks are already kind of doing that. All right, so this is more, I guess, of a sanity check. All right, let's get to getting the windshield out, and then gluing the spacers at the bottom and the top in. All right, so this is all I did so far, was cut the width of the thickness of the bead that I want, and then left this little overhang as a guide. All right, and then now what I need to do is put the height of the bead that I want, and I think I'll do 1/4 inch. Let me get something to... something to mark perhaps. It's a little bit higher than a 1/4 inch. We can go down a little bit lower. I don't know if you could see those lines. All right, that's about 1/4 inch right there. And then we're supposed to put a V-notch. And I'm sure scissors would be a lot better, so we'll get scissors to trim that up. But the idea is we don't need anything coming out the backside. This will be our direction of movement, laying the bead out anyway. There's actually people that know what they're doing when it comes to this. I'm not that guy, but using logic, this is what I think I need to do. So I'm going to trim this up, make it better, and then we'll move back to the glass. All right, so this is what I got. And what I did was I also held it up to the windshield to make sure that it would be enough. And, you know, so I am just over, I think, a 1/4 inch. What am I looking at? Yeah, it's more like a 1/2 inch. All right. So anyway, we got our tip done. Son and I are doing practice runs with the windshield before I apply the adhesive. This way we're going over where to set the windshield at the corners, make sure they're resting properly on the blocks, and get even spacing all around. All right, I'm just going to use silicone to glue the rubber spacers in place where I need them. We still have to trim our upper blocks. But we're just gluing these rubber spacers in place, so that's what's going on now. And then I'll trim those up and glue those in place. All right, thanks, buddy. All right, so we got it in. I didn't want to show you me laying the adhesive down because that was absolutely atrocious. A lot of mistakes were made. I almost got the whole tube. If I didn't have to lay it on real thick at the bottom, I probably would have got away with one tube. But everything's all lined up and centered, and you can touch down to make sure that the adhesive is touching. All the lines are centered, and then what we need is some, oh, there it is. What I want to do is get something to push. I got a little bit of stuff coming out here. I don't see anything squeezing out. But what I do want to do is kind of clear the channel a little bit. Okay. Make sure our molding isn't blocked. See, I got adhesive on my fingers, and there we go. Keep it from, I mean, it's not going to drop down. So, all right. I didn't show prepping the bottom side of the windshield. But we did that. I don't foresee the windshield going anywhere. Yeah. You can see down past the I'll show you. What I'm trying to say is you can see down the dash. It doesn't look pretty, but it's touching. And I guess, yeah, you can't really see it from here, right? That's where that damming tape would probably shine. But I got good contact all the way around the edge. All the way around the edge. Good contact. Man, that was super stressful, and it didn't need to be.